and welcome to Boring Oregon. This is the Boring Cooking Show. Today I'm going to be cooking one of my favorite things, the rhubarb of strawberry rhubarb pie fame. Human beings and rhubarb have been going like that for thousands of years. One of the first recorded references, it was in an ancient Chinese book that was written 2,700 years ago called The Divine Farmer's Herb Root Classic, and it was known as a powerful medicine, especially good for constipation, laxative, good laxative. It didn't reach Europe until the 14th century during the Islamic Renaissance. During Europe's Middle Ages, it was carried along the Silk Road, and it was known more as a drug rather than a food because it was so medicinal. It was extremely expensive when I was traveling along the Silk Road. It was as expensive as like opium or silk or all those luxury goods. Like rhubarb was like top of the line. It was like a Cadillac. If you could get rhubarb, you were really born into a good family. You can use it in jams. You can use rhubarb in jams. You can use it in jellies. You could use it in custards. You could use it in compotes. You can make rhubarb ice cream. You can make rhubarb cocktails. You can make rhubarb margarita. You can make dumplings out of them. Oh look, we have strawberries growing right here and rhubarb growing right here. And what does that remind you of? Pie! That's what we're gonna make today. And you don't even need the strawberries. And what is a vegetable, really? It's a living being. It's like an alien. Rhubarb is like a spirit. It's like the spirit of your grandpa or your grandma and your great-grandma, and it's been with you for a long, long time. Grandma Rhubarb is amazing because, and I'll tell you why, she's a perennial. Instead of just dying after the season, she grows stronger and stronger. It just keeps going and going and going and going and spreading. No offense to annual vegetables, but it's really hard to grow annual vegetables in like a healthy symbiotic relationship with the ecology because they die and they extract nutrients from the ground, and it requires a lot of forethought and a lot of care and tending, as opposed to something like our grandma, the rhubarb, will just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and it requires less and less human interaction. The more that it grows, the more that it becomes independent in its life force. Annual plants are tricky. We've bred them to basically be very weak and to depend on us and our care. It's tricky to grow annual plants in an ecologically responsible manner. We're abusing annual plants by placing them in an inherently extractive, exploitative economic framework where we just grow as many annual plants as possible for the highest amount of profit as possible. We've really lost sight of these beautiful perennial plants, which are actually biomass accumulators, which are good for the soil, which require less stewardship as the plant gets older, which are strong on their own. And that's not some hippie shit, that's hard science. During the 1940s, in British radio dramas, when you hear the background noises of large crowds, if you zoom in, they're actually going rhubarb, 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 over and over again. It's like that's like what they say. All right, enough of that. Let's begin. You can find all the ingredients and directions posted at the bottom of this video. You're going to need flour, butter, some good grade B maple syrup. Grade A has less nutrients actually. Don't buy it. Some good raw sugar, blood oranges, anise and vanilla extract plus some cinnamon. Okay, so start by chopping your rhubarb. Add blood oranges, flour, sugar, spices, and extracts, and let macerate for at least an hour. Chop up some freezing cold butter into large chunks. Add freezing cold flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a little bit of salt. Add freezing cold ice water and mix until it's a mealy, coarse texture and it's just holding together. Roll into a ball and let sit for an hour. While you're letting your dough rest, make sure to remove your black nail polish. Cut your dough ball into 2 pieces. Lay the 2 pieces on top of each other and gently press together. Repeat that step 4 to 5 times. Cut about 1/3 of that dough chunk off for the top piece and then roll out the bigger piece to cover your pie pan. with a little dough to spare for the sides for the crust. I also use this recipe to make 4 mini pies in case you want to spread the love. The process is basically the same. If you want to get fancy, you can even lattice your crust like this. Isn't that pretty? Lots of good YouTube tutorials on how to lattice a pie crust. Wow! I'd eat that. Hope you enjoyed the show. Join us next time.